Arcane so far as of season 1 is probably one of the best video game adaptations into a TV show I've ever seen. And that's not just me being biased because I love runeterra. That is the genuine sentiment of most people looking at IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. And with Arcane season 2 slated to be released this November, I want to dive into the characters I hope to see in the upcoming season. But I'm not talking the obvious character choices like Jinx and Vi. We're going beyond the main cast to explore characters who might not be on your radar but deserve a moment in the spotlight. These champions, some with just a glimpse in season 1, had the potential to truly shine with a little more screen time. Let's explore together who might take a leap from game to screen in Arcane's next chapter. First up, Dr.Mundo. Now you might be saying, but Entgrove, Dr.Mundo wasn't in season 1. Get your hand off the keyboard and stop writing that comment for a second. Dr.Mundo was in season 1, just not the Dr.Mundo we see in game today. Sure, he's less purple, a bit skinnier, but I'm pretty confident this man in Silco's gang, who licks the head of this guy in a bar and turns the page in a kid's bedroom, this Marcus's daughter's scene, is Dr.Mundo before everything. Honestly, the tongue is what really gets me. Dr.Mundo's tongue is always out, and looks like this guy's tongue is just as active. He's already a little crazy, and after Silco lays into him, that may have knocked the last few screws loose. He's just a short asylum trip away, I'm telling you. Let me read Dr.Mundo's bio from the League of Legends universe, and maybe you'll understand what I mean. Utterly mad, tragically homicidal, and horrifyingly purple, Dr.Mundo is what keeps many of Zaun's citizens indoors on particularly dark nights. Now a self-proclaimed physician, he was once a patient of Zaun's most infamous asylum. After curing the entire staff, Dr.Mundo established his practice in the empty wards that once treated him and began mimicking the highly unethical procedures he had so often experienced himself. With a full cabinet of medicines and zero medical knowledge, he now makes himself more monstrous with each injection and terrifies the hapless patients who wander near his office. Now with Shimmer we've seen gives you definitely a purple tinge to your look, and with Silco gone, this guy's already a little mad. I could absolutely see him being put into an asylum in Zaun, as without that minor commoditum of control from Silco, who knows what this guy could have been doing. Perhaps we start season 2 with him in the asylum, and towards the middle or end we end up with him becoming the big purple Dr.Mundo we see in game today. Okay, next up, Urgot. Now hear me out when it comes to Urgot. I'm gonna read his short, and I think Urgot really ties well into the whole theme of season 2 and will tie great into the next season of Arcane, or whatever they want to call the show, because we do know there's something after Arcane somewhere else in runeterra. So let me read it to you. Once a powerful Noxian headsman, Urgot was betrayed by the Empire for which he had killed so many. Bound in iron chains, he was forced to learn the true meaning of strength in the Dredge, a prison mine deep beneath Zaun. Emerging in a disaster that spread chaos throughout the city, he now casts an imposing shadow over the criminal underworld, raising his victims on the very chains that once enslaved him. He will purge his new home of the unworthy, making it a crucible of pain. Now keep in mind, Urgot, the place that he came from, is Noxus, and he was sent to Zaun according to his current lore to eliminate a supposed conspiracy against the ruler of Noxus. Now here's my theory. I think that the current ruler of Noxus is Boram Darkwill. I don't think Jericho Swain has come into rulership within Noxus. I think he's lining up things for his coup to take place. I don't think the Noxian-Ionian War took place yet, none of that. Noxus really I think is going to be the next story after Piltover and Zaun and Arcane. I believe that there's the one character that really stands out a little bit too much in the Noxian army. He's a little different, carries a large axe, is a bit bigger than the rest of the soldiers. This could be Urgot, not saying it is. I'm just saying I feel like there's potential there for him to become Urgot. Now we already know that Ambassador Medarda says that her son was killed, which is telling Mel her brother got killed. He was killed by someone that he crossed the line with the wrong man, who ended up killing him. I feel like this could have been Jericho Swain. And I also feel that maybe Urgot was sent there to end the Medarda line. Because the Medardas, if you realize this, the Medardas are very much about their family and their power, and they're one of the ruling families of Noxus. The whole thing about Jericho Swain is everyone's equal. There's none of these ruling families, ruling classes. If you're out for yourself, like there's a whole short story about someone who's really out for themselves pursuing power. They literally send them to Ishtal to die. I'm not gonna get into it, but I'm just putting out to you that when Noxus is under Jericho Swain, it's very much, you're either for Noxus. If you're for yourself, you're not Noxian. You're just out for yourself, and usually you end up dead. The Medarda family is one of those families that's very much out for themselves, believe themselves to be above everyone else. I feel like perhaps this military soldier here that is shown a lot in the season 2 trailer. He's a bit bigger than the other Noxian shoulders, could become Urgot, and he was sent by the either maybe Jericho Swain or Borum Darkwell to distant Zaun to eliminate the conspiracy against the ruler of Noxus, and I believe that that's the Medarda family. That he was sent there to kill the Medarda family to end their line. But we know that Urgot realizes eventually that his mission was a setup, removing him from the capital even as a usurper Swain seized control of it. So the whole goal was actually to get Urgot out of the capital. This stuff lines up like crazy. I really feel like we're maybe, I don't know if we're gonna see Swain. I hope we see Swain, just like a tidbit of Noxus, because they teased Noxus a lot in the first season. They're coming in strong in the second season. I feel like Noxus is coming after Piltover and Zaun, and Urgot coming in for at least a little bit, or at least seeing the buildup of Urgot, where he's betrayed and he's imprisoned in this lower level of Zaun, and he becomes Urgot, and then that shows like a flash to Noxus and to Swain, who we're gonna see a lot in the following, the future of Arcane. Just something really cool, exciting. I hope it happens. That's why I believe Urgot could be a champion that we see in Arcane Season 2. There is some theory that it's this guy who's like one of his soldiers of Silco, a big guy with a nose ring. I don't think that's him at all, because obviously he's not from Noxus. And I know they changed Skarner's lore for Arcane, but I don't think that they're going to change Urgot's lore. And if we do see Urgot, we may see Baron Voss as well, because she was one of the Mine Wardens. So pretty cool stuff. Urgot would definitely be a nice surprise for Arcane Season 2. Okay, next up, Teemo. Again, he is in Season 1. You just missed him, okay? He may not be there in person, but you see Teemo actually 2 times. Once is on Jinx's arcade machine when they're hiding from the Enforcers. Then we see him again when future Dr.Mundo is turning the child's book page. So we do see Teemo. And while I like Heimerdinger, I would love to see a little more Yordle in Season 2. And Teemo could really just show up for any reason. Bandle scouts are pretty open-ended. And with the Yordle pathways through the Bandlewood, it's not like it would be difficult for him to travel there. Maybe he just shows up for a few moments to see Heimerdinger, I don't know. But they showed him twice in Season 1. Maybe it was a teaser for Season 2 that he's gonna make an appearance. Next up, Orianna. Now let me read to you her short bio, and then we'll go into why I think she could make an appearance in Arcane Season 2. Once a curious girl of flesh and blood, Orianna is now a technological marvel composed entirely of clockwork. She became gravely ill after an accident in the lower districts of Zaun, and her failing body had to be replaced with exquisite artifice, piece by piece, accompanied by the extraordinary brass orb that houses her Hextech arsenal. Orianna is now free to explore the wonders of Piltover and beyond. Now we know Orianna's father is a man named Corrin. We don't really know who this is, but I argue that this could be the character we see in Arcane who's going to become Singed. This is that mad chemist that's working with Silco, who creates the Shimmer. He's a Zaunite alchemist. We know that he has a daughter, one, because he literally says that he has a daughter.
I too once had a daughter.
And then they literally show him holding a locket with little girl's picture on it. This could be who Orianna was. Also, the little boat that Viktor is working with in one of the first scenes where we see this character who will become Singed is very clockworky and could be foreshadowing Orianna for Season 2. Alright, next one is Twitch. Now, there's not much to go on with Twitch, but there is one scene. This rat that murdered the cat. I feel like this rat, if the experiments continued with Singed giving him Shimmer, perhaps this rat eventually would become Twitch. That's really all I got to go on. I just hope it's like a quick flash. We see this rat is now Twitch. It would be awesome. Another character I hope to see, Janna. Honestly, I think it's probably unlikely, but we do have a shot of a mural of her in the Season 2 trailer. I think she has the least chance out of all of these characters to show up, but she could still make an appearance. Maybe this mural was there as like a teaser saying that she may show up. Now some honorable mentions. Characters that will show up, but I wanted them to show up in a certain way. Number 1. I'm pretty sure Mel Medarda survived Jinx's attack at the end of Season 2. 1, they're hinting a lot in Season 1 at the Solari. Now the Solari are sun-worshipping people from Targon. Targon is all the way on the left side of the map of Runeterra, and in Targon there's the Solari, they worship the sun, the Lunari, they worship the moon. The chest plate that's on Mel Medarda's chest in the flashback with her mom is the symbol of the Solari. That is definitely 100% a Solari symbol. Well, I don't think she has connections with the Solari, I think her mom definitely does, and that her mother is armoring her with Solari armor to protect her. And we see this intense Solari-like light coming from her armor when Jinx's rocket is about to hit. I think this is the Solari gear that she's wearing activating. And so there's some connection there with the Solari, which ended up protecting her. And I'd like to see them explore that more, or at least explain it and show the connection with the Solari and where it came from. It's no secret that Noxians are willing to use anything. The whole reason Noxus is there is to acquire Hextech weapons, in my opinion. Like, that's really why Noxus is there. They're not there to help Piltover. They're there for weapons because Hextech is a powerful weapon that could be used to change the future. And I wouldn't put it past them using Solari weaponry, Lunari weaponry, Chemtech. It doesn't really matter. They value power above all else. So I hope this gets explored more with Mel Medarda in Season 2. Next, give me more Ekko. I want to see his timey-wimey action. Okay, I want to see the Z drive. A lot of people were thinking that maybe he was bending time in this first scene. I don't think so. He doesn't have the Z drive unless they really take that out and change it with the little clock. I doubt that. I think what's happening here is he's remembering the fight that they had as children, and that's why he's able to beat Jinx here, because she's acting in the same way that that fight was, and he's remembering how she shot in that fight, and that's allowing him to dodge her shots. That's what I think is happening. It's like a memory that's helping him in this fight. But I would like to see Ekko get a Z drive and go full on like the Ekko we see in game today. Next, we know we're going to see more of Viktor in Season 2, but how far are we going to see Viktor go? Let me read his small bio and then you'll maybe understand what I'm saying. Viktor is the Machine Herald, a herald of a new age of technology. Viktor has devoted his life to the advancement of humankind, an idealist who seeks to lift the people of Zaun to a new level of understanding. He believes that only by embracing a glorious evolution of technology can humanity's full potential be realized. With a body augmented by steel and science, Viktor is zealous in his pursuit of this bright future. So I wonder how far we're going to see Viktor go. How mechanical is he going to get in Season 2? Now we do have this scene from the Season 2 trailer, which everyone's pretty confident at this point is Viktor because you can see his cane right here. Now one thing we haven't seen is the Church of Glorious Evolved, who view flesh as inferior to the steel and metal. They gather followers and they worship the deity of the Grey Lady. Now although it's not 100% confirmed, we can state pretty confidently that the Grey Lady is Janna. And that's how all this stuff will tie together, and you'll get to see Viktor evolved, the Glorious Evolved come into play, and perhaps this area where Jinx and Vi are fighting is one of the temples that the Glorious Evolved used, which would explain the mural of Janna in the background. Next up is an obvious one. He's definitely going to be in Season 2 again, Warwick. I'm super excited to see Warwick, especially after the Season 2 teaser trailer, but I want to see them really flesh out that Vander is Warwick. I really believe Vander is Warwick. I have a video going over the lore of Warwick where I mean, these videos take me a long time to make, and I'm so committed to the fact that Warwick is Vander that I made the lore video and put Vander in there. That's how confident I am. Vander is literally nicknamed the Hound of the Underground. I just feel like it's too obvious. He's definitely Warwick. I just want to see them flesh it out and fully show that he is Warwick. I want to see him come in contact with Vi and Jinx and show that there's still this man underneath there. So I'm excited to see them flesh that out. But yeah, those are all the characters I think we will see in Season 2 or could see in Season 2. I'm very excited for Arcane Season 2. I've watched Arcane Season 1 way too many times now. I'm probably going to watch it again, but that's because I have problems. I'm going to work on a video with the lore you need to know before starting Arcane. I feel like I have family members that are watching Arcane. Arcane definitely spread out a lot more than I expected. There's a lot of people watching Arcane who know nothing about runeterra. And I feel like a little bit of knowledge of runeterra in the background and the lore does help you enjoy Arcane that much more. Like knowing what Noxus is, where Noxus is, what they believe in, knowing these characters from League of Legends, and then being like, oh, this could be this person, actually makes you enjoy the show a little bit more. But maybe that's just me. So I'm thinking about coming out with a video of the lore you need to know for Arcane before starting, without like any spoilers or anything like that. So something I'm working on. If you're brand new to runeterra lore, I recommend the video in the top left of your screen right now that covers the beginner's guide to runeterra lore from beginning to present day. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you're as excited for Arcane Season 2 as I am. Thanks for stopping by the Grove, and I will see you in the next one.